Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Friendly Sinner here with you once again. I'm not actually recording a video, just the audio this time. You see, it's midterms week over in my high school, and well, it's actually the end of midterms week for me. Everybody else has one more, but I have a study hall 7th period, and the way it's set up, I can essentially just leave and well, not show up tomorrow, which is what I'm going to do. So 4-day weekend, yay! Anyway. I've been wanting to make this video for a little while because, as we all know, with any massive test, the only thing any teenage male at the height of his hormonal expenditure of his body is thinking of, the only thing I'm thinking of is video games, and movies, and books. Specifically books, and movies, and video games I can't wait for in 2011. These are the most highly anticipated books, movies, video games, the top 5 most highly anticipated forms of entertainment media thingies that are coming out 2011. I don't really know how to word it, but I don't give a fuck either. So, there you go. There you go. Number 5. Duke Nukem Forever. I tell you, I've been waiting for this game for a while, and at this point, I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. It will be legendary, regardless. Duke Nukem Forever, you are breaking my balls of steel. Number 4, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I remember when my buddy Tim told me that there was going to be an Elder Scrolls V. I jizzed in my pants. In fact, I jizzed everywhere. The force of my semen was enough to tear a hole in the wall of the tiny silver truck that he drives, as that is the place where we talk about video games. Other places where we talk is everywhere else, but still. I remember playing Morrowind when, hell, I must have been 11, I don't know, nor do I have the patience to go and actually check that fact, because how long ago that was, but I don't care. Morrowind was the shit. I remember playing that game inside out and backwards and not getting a single second of it. Like, literally, I had no idea what to do until I was about 14. Then I started playing it again, and I beat it inside out and backwards, and I absolutely loved it. Then I played Oblivion, and I was slightly less impressed. Oblivion was beautiful graphics-wise, but the overall gameplay and the expansiveness of the world just didn't match up to Morrowind. So I'm hoping what they've done... You know what, I don't really know, but all I know is I love the Elder Scrolls series, and I really can't wait for this. Although I am hoping they took out the option to pick up and move items, because I like the way you could just set shit around in Morrowind. I like to build towers of pillows, but I'm just weird. Number 3. George R.R. Martin's A Dance with Dragons. Song of Ice and Fire, the series in which this book is number 5, is perhaps my favorite series of all time. Despite what people say about Martin being an American Tolkien, I strongly disagree with this statement. George R.R. Martin did something that Tolkien didn't do. Where the orcs were evil and the elves were good, the Lannisters and the Starks are completely different. The Starks, there are people on both sides whom you love and whom you hate. Regardless of what they've done. There are characters who, in the start of the series, I absolutely despised, who now, on book number 5, I'm finding myself really caring for them, caring for their well-being. The characters are just so three-dimensional and rich. This is not orcs and ugly orcs fighting pretty elves. This is men slugging it out in the mud. Men and women slugging it out in the mud, and it's almost impossible to take sides. You just want to keep turning pages. Number 2, The Beaver, starring Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster. This movie's already out in Norway, and it will be out February 11th in the UK. But I have to wait until March 14th to see it in the United States. Let me tell you, I know the shtick about Mel Gibson. This movie seems very unremarkable to a lot of people, but here's why I'm anticipating it. I like beaver puppets. I like Mel Gibson as an actor. This movie looks fucking awesome, regardless of what it is. I've seen the pictures where he's holding the puppet and looking like a retard. I thought that was hilarious. I want to see this movie. Not only because it's the sort of concept that just grabbed me. Mel Gibson talks with a beaver puppet. I mean, how could I not? How can a guy like me not be interested in that? There's just no way, I tell you. Also, Jodie Foster is like my favorite actress ever. I've loved her since I saw her in Taxi Driver. Hell, she was the actress that got Ron Reagan shot. That was her, right? If I am wrong, I'm way wrong. Yeah, that was Taxi Driver, though. Okay, well, regardless, I want to see Mel Gibson talk with a beaver puppet, so yeah. And the number one most highly anticipated form of media for 2011 for the Friendly Sinner. The big one, the gigantic, the numero uno, is, without any further hesitation, here's what I'm going to say, it's right... Number one, Katawa Shoujo. It's a Japanese dating sim. What can I say? It has a pretty bizarre concept, honestly. Well, I can start by saying Katawa Shoujo literally translates in Japanese to disability girls, or crippled girls. I know, right, you gotta love them Japanese, and that's what I thought going into this. I just thought, hey, might as well fucking play it for a joke. I went into this game expecting a sick, twisted hentai game, honestly. You know, why I went into this expecting it like that is a topic for a different discussion. Yeah, I thought it would be something to laugh at, something I went into due to my dark curiosity of the sick, twisted secrets of the internet. What I got was absolutely the most adorable game I have ever played. The characters are incredible. Let's start from the left. The one on the left, the blonde girl, is Lily. She's the blind character. The dark-haired girl next to her is Hanako. She suffered psychological trauma after a fire or something. It's not really gone into. The one in the middle is Rin, who is an artist and has no arms. The next one, the shorter one next to her with blue hair, is Shizune, who is deaf and mute. And the small one, the token lolly character, is Emmy, and she's a double amputee below the leg, below the knees, who is the track star. It was intriguing how not disturbing this game was. I want to make it perfectly clear. I do not usually play, well, not usually, I don't ever play hentai games or dating sims, because I find them, bizarre and kind of pathetic and kind of pointless. I mean, I'll watch hentai. Jeez, I have hormones and I like anime. But, this wasn't a game I would have normally played if it were more run-of-the-mill. But this was a concept I'd never heard before. This is the type of bizarre oddity that I had to check out, and I did. And it went completely in the opposite direction of what I was expecting. I was expecting sick and twisted. What I got was cute and well written, and just an overall interesting game. And, you know, as you can hear from my my little tirade on A Dance with Dragons, I'm the kind of guy who hates unfinished stories. So now that I've finished the first act all the way through, I'd like to continue going. I'd like to see just how the developers are doing. So I came across the site, actually. I don't remember how I actually came across the site. It was probably just blanking out. Or maybe Cheese told me. I don't know. He's good with that sort of thing. But, you know, it's the sort of thing that I checked out simply because, why the fuck wouldn't I? And, you know, after playing it, I realized that it was just a demo, so I looked, and I realized that the website, the manufacturers of the game, the game designers, had been working on it for 4 years. Well, since 2006. So I was a little discouraged, because it's always discouraging to find a webcomic or a free game that is good, that has been abandoned. You know, it's very disappointing. But, you know, I checked the developer's blog, and sure enough, people have been working on it all this time, and the release is scheduled for this year. So I can't wait for it. I honestly can't. And you know what? I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm not ashamed to admit that, you know, I've never played a sim dating game before, and from friends of mine who do, I've heard that there's never ever any, like, good ones. This is Jeremy that told me this. He's my go-to guy on these sort of things, because he's in my similar situation. I guess the reason I don't normally play these sort of games is the fact that I've never had a girlfriend, and I know how pathetic it would be. Just want to throw that out there. You know, actually playing this game, you know, there's nothing else I can really say. It's good. Check it out. Well, I'm the Friendly Sinner, and that's my top 5 most anticipated thingies of 2011. Have a good one.